Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about North American cultures. This is going to be a little interesting because there's a lot of cultures and we probably won't be able to cover them all. But I just want to help you understand some terms. Pre-Columbian means the same thing as pre-contact, which also means the same thing as pre-conquest. You'll hear different phrases in different contexts, so just be aware. They all basically refer to the era before European explorers reached the Americas. So, a couple quick questions to think about as we cover this material. What connects the culture to the land? In other words, how do different cultures react to their landscape? And how does the landscape create different cultural artifacts and ways of living? As we ponder these questions, keep in mind they do not only apply to North American cultures, but to all the cultures we have studied thus far. So, how did people in Southeast Asia respond to their landscape, their waterways, their islands differently than perhaps the people in ancient Egypt responded to their landscape? So in North America, we have three basic types of cultures that are happening at slightly different times, overlapping times, depending on where on the land these things take. These cultures arise. So here in San Diego, we have the Kumeyaay, which are a hunter-gatherer culture. Uh, Northwest of Tucson, we have the Hohokam, who built irrigation systems uh, three to 4,000 years ago to grow corn. So that's a classic example of a Neolithic culture. And and then we have the Mississippian cultures, which are much more aligned with what we saw in ancient Mesopotamia. They're Neolithic and they're early cities, and in some cases, very large cities. So we'll look at Moundville, Alabama, and the very large city was Cahokia Mounds, which was the largest city, uh, one of the largest cities in the world at its peak. This image shows some linguistic groupings. This is not the only way to look at the different cultures of North America, but it's certainly one way. If I showed you a map that actually drilled into the individual cultures, it would be so cluttered that we couldn't really see much. So just geography is everything. And just as we saw in the great Olmec and Mayan civilizations in the Yucatan Peninsula, different regions here develop different cultures. For example, in California, due to its diverse geography and ecosystems, there were over 30 distinct languages spoken by the people who lived here since time immemorial, and even within that, there's multiple dialects spoken in each. So, Moundville, Alabama, this is an artist's rendering of a, a city that existed about 800, 900 years ago. There were 29 large pyramid type platforms and in about 320 acres. This is how one of the mounds looks today, but how does this compare to the Olmec pyramids that we learned about last week? So for our coursework in this module, we're taking a smorgasbord approach. I'm trying to focus on some highly influential cultures, some disparate geographic locations, including places like Alaska, and of course our local culture, the Kumeyaay. It would take us an entire semester to cover all the unique cultures of North America pre-contact. Got questions? Please ask.